Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Yo on the Go. Today I'll be talking about my Mustang, Rocinante, and the Cobb Access Port. Now, a typical stock Ford Mustang Turbo gets you 310 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. What you can do is add a Cobb Access Port to the device, and it hooks into your OBD2 port, and what that does is allows you to overlay new maps into the ECU, new programming. And if you give up a couple things like saying I'm only going to put in premium gas into the system, out the door with no modifications other than Cobb Access Port, you can release another 50 foot-pounds of torque and another 20 horsepower onto your system, such that it works fine and dandy. And this has been great. I've been driving this new vehicle. It feels like a completely new vehicle for the last 3 weeks. Been having fun, but what I really like is the opportunity to do data logging. So I can actually log all of my pulls, understand how well this thing does in my driving conditions, and also how to teach myself how to drive better. This is a stick shift, and so you can really screw up the engine if you drive it badly. This gives me real-time diagnostics if I'm knocking the engine, if I'm lugging the engine, what kind of timing's being pulled. It also shows that as I'm doing these very large, wide open throttle moves, I'm starting to see that the intercooler is definitely a problem on this vehicle. The stock intercooler heat soaks almost immediately at the beginning of a pull. It is woefully under-designed, and so definitely a third-party intercooler change-out will be the next step. That should release quite a bit more horsepower and torque. As the system, this computer system is really the engine, keeps from pulling timing, and it does so in two ways, of course. One, the intercooler itself cools better, so you have more denser air at the higher charged pressures, and what that does is it gives you more horsepower, but also it doesn't pull back the timing as the system heats up, because there's much more heat capacity in these new intercoolers. In many ways, having a Cobb tuner is important in your own career and your own life. Having that feedback mechanism is very important, and so I suggest you get something like this for your life, your career. I tend to go through self-analysis, a SWOT analysis, about once every 6 months, in which I reevaluate, hey, what are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in my current area, position of life? How can I make this better? And the key thing is getting feedback from somebody else, asking a colleague, a friend, a family member, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what are my opportunities and threats, how can I make myself better? That feedback will help you perform right at that edge of knock, where the most amount of power comes out of your personal engine. And if you can do that, I guarantee you'll be better for it. So I hope this was helpful for you. Until next time, bye.